Well, Spurs fans. Our guys are on a winning streak.
Go, Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stay.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. The Spurs have won their third game in a row, which does constitute a winning streak. So the question is this winning good? I'll give my answer in a few moments. Very curious to see what you guys say because I've looked on the Spurs Facebook page and man, it seems pretty split between let's win and get better now and let's go full tank. But let's talk about our Spurs, and we're in a tough spot right now. We're in that kind of weird spot where you're not bad enough to get a top 6 lottery pick, but you're not quite good enough to make the play-in or playoffs. And let's take a look at the playoffs specifically to start right now. Our Spurs sit at 31 and 39, and the play-in is certainly not without question. It is doable. We're not going to catch the Timberwolves and Clippers. Let's that's not happening. They're way too far ahead with only 12 games less for us in the season. The Kings, probably not. 4 wins, again, is not a lot between us and them, but with this many games left, we're going to have to win so many more than they do. They're obviously going to win some games too, so that's out of the question. And the Phoenix Suns, that's the team we could probably catch because the Dallas Mavericks, they're done. They're cooked. They're putting out 8 guys a night. They're going in the wrong direction. 3 wins is not a lot, but the Suns only have, what do they got, 11 games left? We've got 12. That means they're going to have to lose a whole lot, which is possible, and we're going to have to win a whole lot, which we've been doing. 3-game winning streak, hey, that's great. But then you look at our schedule, and we got a tough schedule coming up, Spurs fans. I try to be optimistic, but you got to be realistic too. We're playing the Cleveland Cavaliers twice, the defending champion Celtics once, and the Golden State Warriors and other playoff-bound teams. That's going to be a really tough stretch and really show us if these recent wins are just anomalies, we're playing bad teams, or if there's something a little special here happening at the end of the season. So, tens of possibility with this upcoming schedule and with the season, just the window closing on the season, I don't think we're going to make the play-in. We might move ahead of Portland or Dallas depending on how they play, but the play-in, probably not. So then not making the play-in, where do you look from there? Okay, well, if we're not going to make the play-in, what's happening with the lottery position? And we have dropped back a little bit. As you can see, we're sitting at the 10th spot at the time of this video. The Bulls are slightly ahead of us by a half a game with 1 loss. Portland's right behind us, 1 game difference. So it's a really tight race between 9, 10, and 11. The Heat seem to have started tanking as they lost 9 in a row at one point, I believe. And then after that, we're not catching these top 7 teams. They're not. The Raptors, if what we saw last night and with their injury report, they're waving the white flag. They're done. And then the Nets, Sixers, everybody there, they're done. They're cooked. We're not catching them. I don't think we'll fall below Dallas and Phoenix unless we make the play-in, which I've already said I don't think we will. So likely we're going to finish, really could be anywhere between 8 and 11. Who the heck knows? This upcoming schedule could totally change the trajectory of where the Spurs sit in the lottery standings. I don't want to talk about tanking here just for a second, go off on a bit of a tangent. My take, I do believe organizations tank. Whether it be by trades, resting healthy players, which I do suspect the Raptors did last night. The Utah Jazz are blatantly doing that right now. The Philadelphia 76ers are clearly tanking. So I do think organizations tank by the nature of how they handle the rosters, their personnel, etc. But I don't think players tank. I don't. Let's take the 76ers again as an example. Lonnie Walker, former San Antonio Spur, is now on their roster and just got back into the NBA after playing, I don't know, somewhere, Europe or not in the NBA. You got to think he's giving it his all every time he gets on the court, right? He wants to stay in the NBA. And a lot of these guys are playing for their jobs. The Sixers, the Wizards, the Spurs, whoever it is, yes, the organization's probably like, let's go get Cooper Flag. Let's suck. Let's be like the Major League movie where we put the worst guys out here possible so we can lose some games. Thing is, those guys still want to win. They're playing for themselves. They're playing for their families. They have a whole lot to play for. And with our Spurs, I do think maybe there's been maybe a light tank or quiet tank with, some things that have happened with the team. But our guys want to win. I see it watching every game. I see when we're getting blown out, there's still guys, putting the effort in, diving for balls. I think the effort is still there from everyone that is out on the court. I believe our guys want to be Spurs next season, or at the very least in the NBA, right? They want to get more minutes, play better, better contract, and most importantly, win. We talked a lot about, and I've been reading a lot of stuff about how, a lot of fans are like, man, we got to move up in the lottery. Let's pause for a second. Do you realize, Spurs fans, that we may have back-to-back Rookies of the Year. That doesn't happen quite often. It would be the first time in history we got a generational talent in Victor Wembanyama first overall, a player that's looking like one of the best players in last year's draft and maybe will be, especially wins Rookie of the Year. That's a good start with Stephon Castle. We're still going to get a lottery pick this year. I'm greedy too. I would love to get Cooper Flag, but getting the first pick, fourth pick, and first pick is highly unlikely. We're still going to get a very good player that could help our team. We clearly need a big. We are in such a good spot, and I'm happy with the direction of the team. So to get out of this and get back to the original question, is it good that we're winning now? My answer is yes, it is. Develop Castle, get that Rookie of the Year, give players like Blake and Mamu, who are right there above me, looking as happy as all heck, give them some minutes. See if our young guys that aren't getting many minutes should be on the roster next year, or if we should waive them, buy them out, whatever it may be. Devin Vassell's been playing better lately and slinging some D. His defense has improved dramatically the last few weeks. At least my eyeball test is saying that. Earn that contract. Show the franchise like, hey, I had an off year. I struggled a lot in the season, but I can still be, one of the best players on this team. And more importantly, they're learning how to play defense again, because our defense was atrocious once Wemby went down. But lately, sure, maybe the quality opponent has something to do with that, but let's not take away from the guys that are doing their jobs on the court. Their defense has been better. Now, maybe I'm thinking about who we played last night, but still, they seem to be hustling more, and a lot of the players seem to be playing a little bit better D here and there. Blake Wesley's an absolute pest on defense. The way he's been attacking the opposition at times has just been fantastic to watch. And then last but not least, look how happy our guys have been when winning. I love seeing this. When Mama went off last week, that everybody was just going nuts and happy. And I was like, I love to see that excitement, because it hasn't been here a lot the last few years. I like to see the effort. And I hope this excitement, this effort, everything that's coming from this winning at the end of the season carries over into the offseason. Don't go into next season thinking, oh man, we lost 10 in a row. I mean, can you imagine if we ended the season on a huge losing streak? No, I don't think it's going to happen. But just go and build some momentum. Be competitive against these top teams I talked about. The Celtics, the Warriors, the Cavs. I don't expect us to win any of those games, but if they can keep it to 10 or less, hey, that's a little win, isn't it? I think this is good what the team's doing. Yes, it hurts a lottery position a little bit, but I also believe in fate. The Spurs are meant to have a top four pick. That lottery ball will come up and say we're in the top four. It could still happen. The percentages are getting smaller, but I always look back to this. Atlanta Hawks jumped from number 10 to number 1 last season. Why can't we? That's all I got, Spurs fans. I'm very curious on your thoughts on this, because, again, the Facebook community seems very split, where some fans are happy we're winning. Some fans are like, what are we doing? Why aren't you tanking, you nimrods? It's very interesting, so I'm very, very curious on this one. Please be civil in the comments. This does seem like a topic where people can get maybe a little heated, because opinions are going to vary, but they're just opinions. In the end, one thing we all agree on is we want the best for the Spurs. Some of us might think that winning now is good. Some of us might think, no, losing now is good. Either way, we want to see them get back to the playoffs, back to the Western Conference Finals, back to the NBA Finals in the next few years. And it's going to be a fun ride. I can't wait to see what happens the rest of the season. What happens with the lottery? Where do we end up picking? That freaking Atlanta Hawks pick is... I'm going to close at this. That Hawks pick is probably going to be stuck at 16. Unless they lose their play-in games and become a lottery team, which not likely based on the competition. I don't want to keep using opposition. The competition, but hey, stranger things have happened. But I always say this, and I still mean it. It's a good time to be a Spurs fan. We just need a little more patience. We had a lot happen this year with Pop and Wemby, and then Fox getting shut down. But still, there's good things here. It's just hasn't come together as quickly as we would like, and that's probably, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but we're used to instant success, are we not? Spurs are terrible. David Rodman comes in, boom, playoff team. David goes down for a year, comes back. Timmy comes in, boom, playoff team. Next year, NBA champion. We're used to these huge turnarounds, and it hasn't happened like that for this team, but I think next year. I'm telling you, playoff team next year. I know I said top 8 team, and somebody pointed out very correctly, like TSR 7 and 8 still a play-in team. No. We might make the play-in as a 7-8 team, but we're going to be in the playoffs next season. Write it down. That's all I got. Comment, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you. Hope you're having a great Monday. And as always, go Spurs, go.